Time is ticking. Time is ticking. It's the end before we know it, girl, the love is missing. Liquor burns and smoke kills. But who's to blame? Cause this nicotine's the only thing that keeps.
Hey, this is Evans at motorcycle.com, and I am here on Gran Canaria Island for the KTM 690 Duke introduction. And I want to tell you, they said that they redid this engine for this bike, and I'm completely stunned. They've taken the LC4 engine and completely rebuilt it, almost no new parts. And their goal was to make it lighter, to make it vibrate less, and to make it more powerful. Oh, and while they were at it, they threw in the Euro 4 qualifications too. Anyone that's ridden a Duke before knows that it's a 690 single, and it vibrated. It wasn't bad for a single, but it still did it. You didn't want to ride it on a freeway for an extended period of time. However, this new engine is just really amazing. There are times when I couldn't even remember if I was riding a single. Not only did they take the vibration away, but they made it more powerful. It's got more torque down the bottom end. It has complete ride-by-wire with rider modes if you get the track pack on the standard 690 Duke. What I found was, when riding, that I liked it in sport mode in the high-speed corners, but when it got really twisty down into first and second gear corners, I drop it down into the street mode just to soften the hit off the bottom end, and that just made a huge difference. And it's so easy to do with the button on the left grip that I was able to do it just by counting the button pushes and then just a quick look down to make sure that it registered. The 690 Duke has a non-adjustable WP inverted fork and a preload adjustable WP rear shock. They work great. We rode on a variety of roads, from smooth, perfect pavement to gnarly, broken up pavement, and while it's a bit on the stiff side because of its sporty intentions, I'm glad to have a little bit of stiffness to have it handle as well as it does. The brakes, a 320mm rotor, 4-piston caliper, ABS is standard. The characteristic of the 690 Duke has always been that it's a light, maneuverable motorcycle. Well, it's that, and even more so now. Some of the corners we were going into were so incredibly slow and tight, where you had to transition from one to the other almost immediately, and the bike would just turn on a dime. Also, at the beginning of the day, we had to deal with some morning traffic, people commuting on their way to work, and it's surprising the versatility that this engine has. I was able to lug it around in first gear, just limping along with traffic at 10 miles per hour. And it was just completely easy to modulate the power and the clutch. So this could be a good multi-purpose bike, for someone that wants a bike for their daily lives and to go out and scratch in the canyons on the weekends. Other improvements it has a nifty TFT display on it, which for the most part is super easy to read. You can get all the important stuff, the engine speed, the road speed, all of that. Other stuff like the time on the clock could be kind of tough in some light. That's my sort of initial impressions of riding the 690 Duke. Now I want to step over here and tell you the sad story of the 690 DukeR. I mean, this is really a tragedy in the making. And that is fully adjustable WP suspension components, front and rear. Same 320mm disc, but squeezed by Brembo M50 calipers. Akrapovic exhaust. Bump it up to, I believe, 75 horsepower at the crank as opposed to 73 at the crank on the standard. Rear sets, more ground clearance. Cornering ABS. The MS bar that limits the rear wheel slip during deceleration is electronically controlled in the DukeR. And that's all really wonderful, and I got to spend 3 track sessions on the track on this, and I totally fell in love with bike. And now comes the tragedy. We ain't gonna get it in the US. So I'm gonna say goodbye to this bike and walk back over to the 690 Duke, the one that we're gonna get, and say that for MSRP of $8,999, I think it's a screaming deal for all the performance you get out of it. Some people might say, well, it's only a single, but you gotta sample it to try this technology because it works so well. It doesn't vibrate. We were going on the freeway, and I clicked it down to 4th gear, going 80 miles an hour, and I still didn't get any shake. The engine is just otherworldly smooth between 5,000 and 6,000 RPM. It's hard to imagine that it's a single. So if you know a place where you can go test ride this, you owe it to yourself to do it. And if you want to learn more about the 2016 KTM 690 Duke, be sure to read my full tests at motorcycle.com.